Hello everyone, welcome to Anthropology 120, Magic, Witchcraft, and Religion in the Americas. My name is Professor Mercer. I'll be instructing the class this summer. So this course runs from this date, which should be for you viewing it, the June 15th, all the way to July 23rd, roughly 40 days. So in this 40 days, we've got a number of things to do. So remember that we are on a summer schedule. It's fast and sort of furious. I just completed an 11-day short course. Can you imagine how murderous that was for students and me? It was. So at least you have a little bit more time. But with that said, we sort of have to stay on tempo. All right. So the first thing to do is on this Get Started page, if you haven't utilized Canvas before, there are some links to getting started. There's a quick start guide down there you can go to, and it'll take you some videos to help you get through Canvas and orientate yourself. And the last thing on that page that's really important is the course orientation module. That will be an actual graded assignment for you to begin with. And really, it's just you're going through some of the course policies and also presenting some information about yourself so you can get to know other people in the class. It's a simple sort of meet and greet for everyone. That'll be worth 10 points for you. All right. Now, really important, what I want to get to right now is the course syllabus. So there are links to the course syllabus on this page as well as over on the left-hand side link tab. You should see that right in front of you. So why don't you go ahead and bring up the syllabus, right-click on it. You can bring it up in a separate tab. Pause this video right now, and then we're going to go through that really, really briefly, okay? So hopefully you're back. All right. So in the syllabus, some of the most important things we'll discuss. First is how to get a hold of me. That's very important. It's right at the very top. Those are my contacts as well as the times. But I do want to explain something about this. First, preferred. Voice is always preferred. Because generally when you have an issue, you don't understand something or something, it's nice to be in that moment, in that context where you just grab the phone, Mercer. And I love that because you got the problem, you've got the issue, you're thinking about something, and I can help you work it out. Okay. Text secondarily, because it takes a long time to reply to text, and the context is very difficult. So voice is always preferred. I'm available Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. That means I can get back to you really fast. However, I am going to be available in the evenings up to about 10. It's just I don't know if I'm able to get back to you because I have family stuff going on. Kids running around, dinner going here, going there. But if I see a phone call coming in and you leave me a voice or something, I'll try to get back to you. If not, the next day. Weekends, sort of the same way. You can always hit me up by voice or text on the weekends. I just can't guarantee I'm going to get back to you that weekend. I'll tell you something. In the past, if people have got a hold of me on Saturdays and I can't get back to them on Saturday, I will get back to you on Sunday. It's either one day or the other. Secondarily, there's email. I'm always aware of your email coming in. I carry an Outlook on program on my cell phone so I can see it, and I will respond to it Monday through Friday. And the same rules sort of apply for the weekend. It depends if I'm available or not. But those are the two vital ways in which to get a hold of me. And don't be afraid to. This is something I really enjoy doing. I really enjoy your being successful. And I really do believe in making some contact with you to really assist you. All right. Now, as far as getting a hold of each other, yeah, I think it's important. Normally in a regular semester course, I do a lot more discussions so that you can have a lot more interaction. But with the nature of this course only being like 40 days, we really only have time for two sort of discussions. One's the orientation, one will be on something that you've seen in magic and witchcraft in our society, and that will come quite soon. But, during these discussion boards, it may be time for you to, make some acquaintances. And sort of you can have study partners if you want. You can share information. There should be also a people tab, so you can see who's in the class and make contact that way also. All right. Now, let's get down to some of the nuts and bolts of the course that are really important. The information on what the course is sort of stated there in the syllabus. And I'll let you read that on your own. But let's get down to the required texts because we got to get going pretty quick. There's two required actual texts in the course. The first one is right here, the Anthropology of Magic and Religion. This one we're going to be utilizing it more like a reference book, like a mini encyclopedia. That's really what textbooks are. I mean, who would actually read a textbook from cover to cover? They're pretty god-awfully boring. But these are just mini encyclopedias that help you look stuff up, important critical concepts if they're fuzzy. If you don't get them out of the readings that you're doing or the videos you're watching or my lectures, this gives you a place to sort of look them up at. And I have those listed on the syllabus. The chapters aren't really there for you to read unless I ask you to read them. Once or twice I'll say, read that chapter. But the rest I call just reference reading. That's where you can go to, right? So don't worry about reading that from cover to cover in this course. It's not going to happen. Reference book. The second one is this one here called Monsters. This is by David Gilmour. Exceptionally good book. Again, it's a pretty good tome. We're not going to have time to read the whole thing. I'm going to hit 4 of the most critical chapters on here, and they are extremely important, and they're going to come quick. So make sure you get this book as fast as possible. Okay? There might be ebooks available. I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked at that list yet. But if you haven't got it, we're going to start with this one pretty quick. Right. Now, lastly, what I have, if you can look on the required text, they're really the required videos. Look right below it. All the videos that I have, I found links to, and they're going to come to you for free except for one. And it's listed right there, Joseph Campbell and the Power of Myth. It's available on Amazon. I think it's $2.99, $3 per episode. We're watching 4 episodes, so $8. And there's the link to it. It's real critical. We must watch those videos. There are 6 in the series. We're only going to be watching 4. All right, so those are the only required things you need to have. Now, for those of you who are part of the DSS, one thing I want you to think about is making sure you get a hold of me as quickly as possible so that I can provide the right sort of testing accommodations which you need. So reach out to me quickly so I can get you on my list so nothing goes wrong during the little testing processes that we have. All right, let's go into grading. The grades are established on a point scale. You basically have the 10 points for the orientation module, which you do this first one in. You have 1 discussion response, which will be in the first module also. That's 10 points. There are 2 critical thinking papers, which you'll just email to me. 1 or 2 page minor essays, responses to some things that should be pretty fun. They're actually pretty creative assignments that I have for you, so you'll enjoy those. Those are worth 30 points each. I have some small quizzes. They're like 20 questions at the end of each module. These are 40 points each, or 120 points total, and your final exam, 100 points. The final exam will not be like a multiple choice sort of quiz like you have on the other midterms. It will be an essay response, and I will give that out 5 days before the end of the class, and it's due a day after the class ends. So that's how you're going to be graded. Now let's look at sort of the content of the course. So flip down to where it says, the course, the schedule. So it's broken down into 4 major modules. The first 3 modules have quizzes at the end. The 4th doesn't. That information is going to help you get through that just for the final exam. Okay, that's the final quiz at the very end. All right, there's a flow to it. So let's look at the rhythm and flow. So once you have the rhythm and flow kind of going, you'll know how it's going to be taught. So to begin on each one of the courses, I usually have, an opening sort of bulleted list of the sort of things we're going to be doing. So let's look at the module number 1. So introductions to the functions of religion, blah, 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 blah. You see the 3 bullet points? That's the subject matter, and below is how you're going to get through it. That's the order in which we're going to do things. And those are going to be listed on the assignments page within the modules. So right off the bat, we start out with a video, The Power of Myth. Then we go to a reading. I want you to actually read those 2 chapters in Stein. And then there it is, where it says the reference. You don't need to read that. That's just in case things are fuzzy. That gives you some reference to do there. And then we have a discussion, or a discussion response. Then we go down to the next sort of assignment. The same sort of rhythm is going to occur. Same rhythm. The one thing that's missing from this are the PowerPoints and mini lectures that I'm going to be giving. So I haven't put those in there, but expect, before, a reading or before a video, I will give an introduction, explain what you're looking at and the important things, what's really important in those things for you to sort of hone in on. Now, last thing I want to say is that this course is reading rich. It just has to be. We're talking about the scope of religion throughout all time, and even in the Americas is enormous. So, our scope is pretty big. There's a lot of readings. They're not long readings, but there's enough to where you cannot do these readings in detail. I do not expect you to do them in detail. Do not do that. Um, I want you to think about the main ideas. When you're reading, like, what is the big idea the authors are talking about? And it's those sort of questions that you're going to see on the quizzes. What are the big topic matter? What was this paper really overall about? So I want you to read to that level and know more, because I don't want to, consume all of your summer on one course. I've always taken courses when I was a student, and I hated those that did that. So when you see a lot of readings, realistically, I'm not going to expect, a high level of detail. All right, so look through the rest of that schedule, and pay attention to when the quizzes are, right? So you can see the quiz for our first module is coming up June 24th. For the second module, we've got it down there for July 6th. The third quiz will be July 15th. And of course, as I mentioned, the final is due the 24th of July by midnight. All right. So go get started on orientation module, and then you'll see a video when they get to the first learning module.